Okay, guys, welcome back to part two of the Photobash assignment tutorial demo how-to. Okay, so let's get back into this. So we got the planets in here. We have our character here. Let's take our character and maybe move him right here, maybe a little bigger. And let's take our Moto machine and decide maybe we want that over here. Maybe like he's walking to it. And maybe that would be a little bigger as well. Let's get this out of the way. Okay. So we got those placed in there. We're starting to get a scene here. Let's go get let's get some really cool like shapes for the background, either like buildings or like some cool rocks or something like that. Let's do rocks. Let's do like some crazy rock formations. I'm gonna get the internet up. Move my microphone here. Check 1, 2. Okay. Let's find some cool rocks. Let's do interesting rock formations. So that's pretty cool. Very cool. Very rad. Very awesome. That's pretty cool as well. I wonder if we could use that somehow. Absolutely nuts. Wow. Let's try these guys right here. Oh my gosh, does that even look real? That's insane. Okay, so right click, copy image. Let's paste them in here. We know we're going to want it behind our man character. And I can even stretch it out. And I'm going to hit enter to accept that position. Let's try the old, what is this called again, magic wand tool up here. Let's try clicking on these areas. Let's see if we can get a basic cutout. This is going to be real shrunk down, so it doesn't have to be perfect. Now I'll just take my lasso, not elasso. Can't see back there, but something like that. And I'm going to hit delete. Hit delete. Oh, delete. How come it doesn't like that? I see this is highlighted. Why? Okay, so there we go. Now it's deleted. And then let's see, how much do I want to stick up? Let's get rid of this little piece right here. Let's take this again. That was the lasso again. So let's take this piece, let's put the rocks in here and shrink them down quite a bit. Stretch them out quite a bit. Let's make our guy invisible while we work on this. Okay, I'm going to make it translucent so I can see through it. I'm going to take the square rectangular marquee tool and actually I want to try something and show you guys something. So I want to erase this bottom part of the rock like that, but I probably don't want it so hard of an erase mark. So you can feather it. I just hit undo. You can feather it up here, meaning it'll be like a subtle. When it deletes the area, it'll have like a fade. So if I set this to 10 and then I hit delete, if I set it to 10, and then I hit delete, it will be a little softer on the deletion. I know it's hard to tell because if you did more, it's even more of a gradient or a fade. I'll explain that better later here in a minute. So I just took the lasso tool and I'm going to clip off that edge. And so I have some cool rocks way back there. I might want to do like a multiply. And then some of the color in the background comes through. Alright, so now I just added a really cool rock formation back there. Another thing we can add is go look for more rocks. So we'll take this, and that's pretty awesome. So, hiking Vasquez Rocks. That's a really cool place. Wonder if you guys have ever been there. Oops. What did I do? Okay, right click, copy image, minimize, back to Photoshop. I click on the canvas here, and I can hit Command V. And you can see here, I'm going to make these like huge. You can see, this would be a great time to show you guys how the clone stamp works. So let's just make this huge. So let's say I don't like the dude that's standing right here. I can just take, and you can take a long time to do this, like make it real perfect, but I can select an area by pressing Alt or Option right here, and it'll record that area, and then I can paint, it'll paint all the information where that cross is, it'll paint it onto where your brush is. See that? Okay, and you can just keep going, pick a new area and keep going. Deleting. Okay, so now he's gone. So this tool also works good for ex-girlfriends and things like that in your family photos. Okay, so I'm going to take this area and crudely do this to it just for fun. Doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, there. So the truck's gone. Trucks are gone. So that's the clone tool, which is right here. Clone stamp tool, to be exact. So I'm going to take this magnificent rock structure And this is going to be an epic, monolithic, massive. I'm going to duplicate it in case I want to use it somewhere else. Oops, not that one. Right click, duplicate layer. And then again, put that in my piggy bank down here at the bottom in case I want to use it. So back up here to all this big rocks. And I might want to delete the sky first, so hit the sky on this rock layer. This will be really easy since it's so drastic. Sample size. So there's a tolerance of 10. You can up this to like 30, and it'll select more. If I hit shift, I can add selections. I'm holding shift right now. I can add selection stuff. So, all right. So now I'm gonna hit delete, and we got a wonderful sitch here. Let's get rid of this. All right. And I bet you I'm not gonna need this piece right here. Oh, that's going to be just beautiful. Now again, our lighting doesn't match real proper, but it's pretty darn good. I'm going to put this opacity down to like that much so I can see. So, it would be kind of cool if we erased where that horizon line is, or where that sand dune line is. So, to do that, we can take our layers, and you can just go right in and delete it out with the this tool right here, or any tool you wish, any selection tool. You could just go like this, and do it up. Can't see back there, but I'm sure it goes something like that. So that would be the portion I want to erase or delete on these giant rocks, big rocks. Okay, so let's take a look at how, let's try that multiply again. See if we even like that. Let's go normal. And let's crank this opacity up to like something like that. Now, do you see how, do you see how, oh, I didn't notice there was a human right there. Do you see how maybe we can make these rocks a little more reddish, orangish, kind of like these sand dunes are? So what I'm going to do to achieve that is I'm going to go to Image, Adjustments, Hue, and Saturation. And that's how I can change the colors of my rocks really easily. So I can move this slider, and there's many ways to change colors. I can hit Colorize, and it kind of just does the whole thing. But you lose a lot of variation in color information. So I want kind of an orange color. Kind of. I don't want to do the colorize. So let's see what it looks like. Might be kind of cool to have straight up blue rocks to make it look really kind of alien. Or purple. Something that we don't have on Earth. That would be kind of cool. So now we're getting green, and I'm just sliding this back and forth looking at it. I'm going to go right there. Saturation can go up or down. Let's do it up. Lightness can go up or down. Maybe something like that. Okay, we're going to get our motorcycle bike. And this can go way back here. And our moon is right here. Which moon is that? So this planet right here, I can do a mask. The good thing about a mask is it doesn't damage the art. I can change it later. And if I have black selected, which I do because of this swatch right here, I can paint out the areas I don't want it to show. And again, if I wanted to move that planet, I haven't destroyed that piece of artwork. Okay, so we're starting to get something here, otherworldly. All right, and now what we need is let's see. Maybe an alien ship in the background. This is where I normally use one of my designs. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Wow. Nuts. Alien ship. Now, one thing that's cool is sometimes you can put in space PNG and it'll give you PNG files which already have the background cut out. So keep that in mind, guys. You may want to use a PNG. And so as far as the ship, we could use, like, I'm going to make it, this is from Halo. Copy image. And this guy will be just floating in the air, kicking it. Command V is what I just pressed. He'd be floating in the air, kind of just like so. Or you know what? This could be a structure. Let's make this a ground structure. Maybe it's... we're going to use a bunch of these to create like a city. That's what we'll do. This will be tight. Okay, so this is an alien ship, but we'll call it a city piece. Because I'm going to take a bunch of these pieces and make a city. Yeah, we can do that. We can do that. Let's see, so just go straight like this. And then we'll move some around like this. And if I hit Alt, it'll duplicate that layer. And so I can do this real fast by hitting Alt and the Move tool. Alt again, I'm gonna hit Enter, and then if I hit Alt, I can duplicate another one. And so, in a matter of seconds, we can create this wild city. I'm gonna take all these pieces that I just made. They're all right here, and I just hit top one, I'm going to hold shift and hit the bottom city piece. If I right click on the gray part of this layer, I can merge all these layers. Now you see they're all in one layer. So I'm going to make a duplicate of that because I'm about to destroy it. And this piece I'm going to cut like so. I'll cut all this off. Let's get that feather that we talked about up to like 30 and see if that deletes the way we like. You see how soft that edge now is instead of like super rough. Now I'm going to take this city and put it basically on this horizon line. So that look cool right there. I'm going to knock the opacity down, see if I can get away with that. You know what I'll do instead is I'll teach you guys a different way to mess with, instead of going to, oh, let me get on this correct layer. Instead of going to image adjustments, hue and saturation, which we did before, another way is using these curves. And the curves is a really great way to adjust an image. As far as like I want it to be kind of desaturated so it looks like it's off in the distance. If it was real black like that, probably not as believable. So this is another way to mess with an image. Okay, I'm cool with that. Alright, so one thing is we lost our rocks that were in the very background, our really far back rocks. Where was that? These guys. We'll call them far back rocks. So our city covered it up, so we can maybe bring those back up like this or something. Make those a little more promising. And I can take the eraser tool and just erase the part I don't even care about. Alright, so we got that going on there. So let's bring our city back and let's work on our man for a second. So our man. Oh, and our city probably wouldn't be in focus that much. Let's get our city blurry. The way you do that is so the way you can make the city blurry is you go up here to filter and blur, and you can use this blur or that blur. Try all these different blurs, but for this situation I think I'm going to use the lens blur, and if I click that, it'll take a while, but you see something that looks like this. Okay, and so it's telling me how blurry do you want it. I really don't want it that blurry. So I'm going to make these adjustments come down a little bit. A lot, actually. So that's for maximum amount of blur. Let's see, let's make it double that. So So it's just blurred a little bit there. Let's try 10. When you open up this lens blur, sometimes it takes a minute for it to open. Just be patient. So that's blurry enough right there for me. Alright, and I think I should make it more red so it matches the landscape a little better. Hue and saturation. Let's go over to, let's try that colorize feature. Get it kind of red-ish. Yeah. Right. Okay. Alright, now, I don't know if this will look good, but I wonder if we could put, you know, I gotta get rid of this guy right here. He's just no way. Not futuristic enough. Those are the big rock. He's sitting on the big rocks. So we're gonna go to the big rocks. We're gonna take our clone stamp tool. I'll make it go down a little in size. And we'll take some of this area. Click. And I'm pressing Alt and then pressing on the area I want to paint on. So it's Alt and then I go to my canvas and I left click. Nobody knows he ever existed. Okay, and so I'm back in the city again. Let's crank this down. I hate how there's white around this city piece. I'm not liking that. Let's just crudely cut that out. That's just bothering me. Let's take the eraser. I'm just going to do it on parts that's really noticeable. I'm using my Cintiq right now, so it's a little faster than the mouse. Remember, if you hold Shift and use your eraser, it'll do a exact straight line. So maybe I want some exact straight lines in some of this. I hit Shift, and then I use the eraser, and it'll give me a straight up and down line or a straight horizontal line. So we're starting to get a world here. Okay, so let's go to our hover bike for a second. Let's get our hover bike. We may not even use our guy, I don't know. So I see there's vents in here. And let's go to let's select the layer that has our bike. And this will be in the foreground, so I'm going to make that go to the top. Put this in our piggy bank. This is our city that we're using. So I have my motorbike. Now guys, you can do a folder. So here's a folder. Create new group. And I'll just call this Moto. And anything that's going to be on this bike, I'm going to throw in this folder. See? I can drop it with this arrow. Now when I have like 50 things in that, on this moto bike, I can have it not just taking up my whole. Like for example, let's put all our planets into another folder. Planets. Now I can drop that down and see all my planets. That goes in there too. So it's just like you'd think, just drag and drop it. We actually don't need this anymore. This blue layer. Delete it. So rocks and what's that like? Let's move that up here. And then we'll take all of this stuff. This will be called like our landscape stuff. Landscape. So I select anything I want in that folder, right click, and I can put it in a folder. And there's your folder right there. It's just like you'd think but look how much cleaner my layers are now that I have folders. It just makes your life easier. While we're at it, let's make one for the man. So I select the man, I press folder, I'm going to call his group man, and I can minimize it. Oh, I'm going to put him in there. And then he's in there. Okay, we'll call this piggy bank, because this is our piggy bank, in case we wanted to use stuff later. Piggy bank. Alright, now look how tidy our folders are, and layers. Okay, so back to the motorbike. On this motorbike, we can use the stamp tool a lot. We can like copy this area, and let's see. Something you could do is like just select an area that you like and copy paste it. Oops. Copy paste it. Oh, I got this checked. Auto select. I don't want that selected. So this is the thing I just pasted. Copy pasted. Okay, so there's. I'm gonna make this pattern go throughout all this. And if I select all these that I just made, I can right click and merge layers. And remember, the way I was duplicating this is I was pressing Alt, and then I can make another one. Alt, and then I make another one. So one thing you're going to want to know or switch on your machine is how do you get unlimited undos in Photoshop. Let me show you. This is how you can get unlimited undos in Photoshop. Go to Edit, Keyboard Shortcuts. This window will pop up, this menu. You're going to go to Edit, drop down, and instead of step backwards, or instead of whatever step backwards says for you, you're going to switch it to Command Z. So, Command Z. I can make this whatever I want. I can highlight it and call it T6, or, well, I guess I can't, but I switched mine to Command Z, and I hit OK, and now I have unlimited undos instead of just one step back. So again, the way you create unlimited undos is you go to Edit, Keyboard Shortcuts, and that'll be in this drop-down menu right here. And the one you want to update is this one. It's going to say, hey, you already have a shortcut using Command Z. Are you sure you want to do this? And you're going to say yes, and then you're going to hit OK. So that's a fun little thing to know. So I'm going to select, I like this texture to 2. Command and Command C, Command V to duplicate it. Just going to kind of go like this. And again, I'm using the Alt button to make a bunch of those. So I'm going to select all the ones I just made and merge layers. Excuse me. Okay, and then I'm going to pick a new layer and put it under everything that we're just doing. And I'm going to tell it to record. No, I'm going to just grab a color right here. Switch my brush out a little bit. Make it smaller. And I'm going to just paint like that. I'm going to make this all black up in here. You can do this with your mouse. So I'm going to merge all this stuff that I've been working on. And so I have this so far, is what I have. And I'm going to take the eraser tool. I'm going to do something like that. I'm going to select some of this shroud color by pressing Alt, and that'll give me my color sampler. I'm going to sample a color. I'm going to use that color. And I can use the mouse. I can use the lasso tool. The point is, I just want to make that kind of that edge look a little bit believable. Okay, so I'm going to take some of this black. And then I'm going to select the whole area. This is what will really make it kind of cover up a lot of that unbelievability. And I just selected like a whole area that I want to modify. I'm going to take my paintbrush tool and make it huge, or at least bigger. And I'm going to do the opacity of that paintbrush tool to like 35%. Take this black. Every time I press down, it's only pressing down 35%. Okay. But let's say this thing was lit up by like power, by like LED, like light energy or something. So maybe let's do like some light energy coming out of it. But that color doesn't work good. Good thing I got unlimited undos. So let's pretend it was blue. I like a really bright blue though. So I just have my fat brush here. .35% power. See that? Opacity is at 35%. You can do this with your mouse. So this would be like telling the viewer that this has like lights in there. And I could go a little bit bigger and make this go up to like 87. So obviously this is like just I'm kind of getting like painterly now, so let's get some more images. Let's get some more images. So let's get a jet turbine motor and use that as its engine propulsion system. I may want to use some of this too. What did I say? Jet turbine engine. So this is how my mind works. So, but you might be thinking of like flowers and butterflies and more things that you're into. So just because I'm into sci-fi doesn't mean you have to be, and doesn't mean I expect your projects to look like mine. So I'm also looking at the perspective of the angle, like this one right here. This one's sorry. This one's beautifully 3D modeled. Wow, very well done. Okay, so, and I might use that. So the angle of that perspective was kind of an issue that we wanted to capture. We may build it out of several different pieces. That's pretty hot. So a nice angle. Let's go back and look at our art. What is that angle? Okay. It's about 45 or so, coming away from you. These are just so rad looking to me. So I'm an artist and I can draw some pretty crazy stuff, but I don't understand how these guys build these things. This is like amazing. Cannot believe humans are capable of making stuff this cool. Have the smarts to do the engineering to get this done. Okay, so sorry, I just want to find a good one that'll look cool. We've seen a lot of them. Ooh, that's a nice one. Look at this one. Oh god, let's use some pieces of this. Copy image. Minimize. Control V. Oh, I gotta click on Photoshop for it to go into Photoshop. So, Control V. So, let's cut this out. We're gonna cut out, let's say, like, I got my polygonal lasso tool. So fun to say. Polygonal lasso tool. So I got that, and maybe I'll use this little device going up and connecting. Let's see what we can do with this. Let's see what we can get done with that. I don't want to delete this part. So what do, guys? I go to select, inverse, and delete. Okay. I want this motor to be sticking out of the back of my bike, so I'm going to put the motor behind the bike. Look at that. That's looking pretty tight. Okay, so that's going to be like an exhaust component. Now we're going to get the actual jet turbine. So we got one component. The actual jet turbine component. So what we need now. I might get something off a space shuttle, but oh, that's pretty. Let's take this. there's actually one on fire, but that wouldn't make sense since our rider's not on it. Let's see if this one works. Right click, copy image, minimize internet, click on Photoshop, Command V. So it's going the wrong way, so I can go to edit, transform, add flip, horizontal. Now it flipped horizontal. Did you see that? Let's back up a little bit. Edit. No, edit. Edit. Transform. And you have the ability to flip horizontal or vertically. See that? Or you can hit Control F if you want to get mega fancy. So let's just do a crude cut. Get this out of here. Select inverse, hit delete. And let's see how much of this we need to cut out. I'm going to put it behind the... that's going to actually go very well, isn't it? Let's make it huge. All right there. I don't need... that would be cool to have the front like that, though. Let's save that front. So I'm going to put that into the front somehow. Sorry. Let's get this to 0. I don't need any feathering. So copy, paste, and now I have a front piece on standby. Okay, so let's get the one that's coming out of the back. I don't need this, and I don't need a bunch of this jargon. So I'm going to take my polygonal lasso tool, and this already has, this round feature is made by straight lines anyway, so it actually looks perfect for that. Okay, got some wires in there, gotta get those, make it legit. And I'm going to complete a exterior shape and hit delete. Okay, so it's really important to make sound effects while you do this stuff if you want to if you want to be serious about it looking good. Okay, so how is this going to work? This is going to be interesting. Let's make it transparent, or opacity down to 50% so we can see. So let's say it was sticking out of the bike. About right there. Alright, so now we're going to basically take our polygonal lasso tool. Oh wait, can't go down. Oh, it's going to go. Let's see. So I'm looking through the jet turbine, seeing in my mind, thinking, how much am I going to cut out of this? Okay. Okay, so now we're going to select this fairing shape right here. And let's see if the mask will work good for this. So I'm going to make a mask. I want to invert that mask actually. See how it's only showing me. Subtract. Intersect. Mask options. I did not do that correctly, as you can see. So let's try that again. I'm going to take this area about right here, and this is going to be the part that I want sticking out of this hole. Create a mask to do this. So anything inside this mask, I'm going to allow the jet to stick out of it. I'm going to hit this button right here, mask. Now when I crank this opacity up, it'll be sticking out. And I think I can take this, and you can move the mask around too. So I'm going to move that into the spot I want. But the point of this is I can get rid of the mask and still have the motor. Let's get rid of these pieces we don't need. That was a bad way to do it. Let's use our fancy elliptical marquee tool, since we have such an elliptical shape. I'm going to go for this. Oh, whatever. I'm going to do the inverse so it'll erase the outside of it. Okay, so let's take, just by hand, do our eraser down here. Let's decide what we don't need here. I don't like this shape here, so I'm going to cut that out. I can magic wand or magic stamp, clone stamp some of this back in. Actually did not go very well, but that looks bad. Okay, so maybe I'll put like a shroud or something right there. So I can take other pieces of the bike. Maybe I'll take this piece. Actually, maybe I'll take this whole piece and duplicate it. Make it stick out more. Bear with me, guys. I'm going to take my Moto bike, copy, paste. I'm going to move this shroud out to make like a custom fitting for this. Okay. And do I need this part right here, this red piece? I need that. So then I'm just going to paint a little darkness. Too fuzzy. It's right there. And I'll take the clone tool. Few places. Okay. So the engine or the cowl would be creating a drop shadow right here. So we'll go and put that in. So I'm going to do a new layer. And I would assume if this was creating a shadow, I would just check this out, bear with me on this. So I just painted in like some shadowing right there, right? But I'm going to do it to multiply, and then I'm going to back off the opacity a little bit. So about like that. And then I'm gonna erase the parts I don't want, like this. I'm gonna make it a little softer. Okay. So that's how that works. And now you got some, and then it'd probably be darker down here too. So I'll just do this opacity down. Now it's painting at 30%, where you can barely see. Okay, let's back up a little bit and see what we're doing. So we got a bike, and it needs a shark fin on the bottom here, of course. Things that go really fast always have fins. And so we'll take, that can be right by the bike layer. Let's take our paintbrush tool and select this. Put it at 100% opacity and just do that. Okay, so we got a shark fin shape there. Then the thing that this bike's going to need is a drop shadow, kind of like these, a shadow. So let's just make a layer and call this ground shadow. This is the shadow that's on the ground. Did I just write ground? Well, let me get one try. I'm just going to do it. It's going to be ground now. Actually, let's call it shadow. Ground shadow. So I got our ground shadow layer. Now I'm going to paint a layer. Same thing. Watch this. So I'm going to do this a little bigger. And then I'm just going to fake in. Oh, you know what? It's even better. I got to copy the shadow color of the surrounding area. If I copy it, it'll look more real. So this will make it look like it's floating. Let's do an overlay. Let's do a multiply. Trying to think what would look best here. Screen. Color burn. No. Normal. probably multiply. Get a better color here though. Darkest part of the shadow is that color brown. Image adjustments, hue and saturation. We can kind of mess with this. Okay, now I got the eraser tool. And I can make the opacity of the eraser tool go down. I can kind of mess with this till I think it looks a little better, believability factor wise. Okay, and then on the overall bike, I'm gonna mess with the color a little bit on the overall bike. If I think I'm kind of done messing with it, I can do this. This back motor, I might mess with the color a little on that. Ow. You know what? The way it is looks good, but let's mess with the curves on it. So this is also good for like doing the contrast. Or the opposite. Dark like that. Okay. So now I kind of want to do like a light side and a dark side of this actual bike. And so we're going to do the general wash over it in that manner. So my paintbrush is selected. I'm at 100%. I'm just going to kind of go like this. I'm going to switch it to 50% or somewhere close to 50%. 62. So this is going to be like forcing the people to think that the light is coming from here. This isn't an art class, but I just want to show you how you can use overlays and such to force perspective and light. So I now have it as an overlay. I'm gonna calm it down a little with the here's a 0 opacity. Put it about right there. Okay, so I'm Another thing that looks cool is to, over the entire thing, do a wash. These actually go in with the motorcycle. So those layers. I see that these layers are, hold on. So I got the motorcycle folder, but I see that these layers are out of the motorcycle folder, so I need to put them in. And it threw them at the top, and so they need to actually be like right there. Now when I close my motorcycle folder, it's still good. Okay, then we're going to do an overwash. I'm going to take this will kind of bring everything together, make it all look like it's from the same world. I just selected some of the sky color, and this is some of the dirt color. Okay. I'll select some of this rock color. Now the point of this is we're going to have just a super general wash over everything, which will kind of tie it all in. Kind of force a vignette here too as well. This is getting really artsy now, but I want you to see how you can use Photoshop. Okay, now I'm going to make this like an overlay, or soft light, or hot light. Soft light, maybe? So without it, it looks like that. With it, just kind of makes everything in the same kind of realm. You may like it or not. Okay, so getting a good Photobash set up here. Okay, so just one last thing I'd like to do is put in a artificial sky, another one, like Aurora Borealis. How do you spell that? Let's see if there's anything that I can use in here. Let's see, we're going to do colorful sky. Colorful sky. Alright, so maybe I'll use one of these somehow. That's pretty cool. Let's use this one. Command V after we get Photoshop in here, and I only need this section right here. So I'm going to inverse and delete, and then I'm going to stretch this over my whole sky. Let's see if I want to use it. Make it an overlay for now. landscape area. And to tell you the truth, I don't like this planet right here. That one planet was bugging me. This one can be very large. Or maybe there's two of them. Something like this. So I got my planets figured out. Here's my sky. I'm going to take my eraser. Just kind of erase where I think it's just a little too much of that recent sky that we put in. So I'm just barely using it. Just barely using it. I'm using my eraser tool right now, by the way. Okay, and I actually think these big, massive rocks can be darker. Let's darken that up. Saturation. Cancel. Let's use curves. You guys should get in the habit of using these curves. These are great. About like that. Okay. Let's take a look at what we got here. Alright. Let's not even add our character, man, just because of time and stuff, but if we did, we could add him. You know what? Let's cut him out. Let's add him in. Let's see if he looks like it. And then after this, we'll call it good, right? So this movie poster can be anything you're into. Or not movie poster, this Photobash can be anything you are into. Okay? So last class somebody did ballerinas, somebody did My Little Pony, somebody did some video game looking stuff. So whatever you want. Whatever floats your boat. And I'm just using the eraser tool on this. Now if I wanted to spend a little more time, I would just, I'd probably add a backpack to this dude, some stuff coming off of him, some like antennas, maybe like a respirator. Trick him out. Let's take his shadow and move it to match like the street bike's shadow. Transform, distort. Just give me a little anchor point, and now I can kind of move it from that point. I just hit copy. I'm going to hit enter and then hit copy, delete, and then I'm going to paste it. So now I got his shadow on a different layer. And I'll do an overlay. Okay. I mean a multiply. Alright, and then he himself needs a little curves action. Almost black. Block too much of my background. What I just did. So maybe I need to adjust my city a little bit in the background. So here's my city. Now I'm taking the rectangle marquee tool, kind of putting some city shapes back in there. Since I've put him in and he's covered up so much of the city, I think I'm going to add a little more. Let's get go into our piggy bank and take this and duplicate it, and let's put it up in our landscape, make it visible. Let's use like a lot more of this somehow. Yeah. Right. And that planet needs a little love because it's encroaching. So. And again, I'm going to paint on the mask so that it doesn't ruin it. So that makes sense. Well, what do you think, guys? That's a photo bash. You're taking a bunch of photos, you're bashing them together in Photoshop. You're using the lasso tool, copy paste, the clone stamp tool. You're using masking. You're using hues and saturation. You're going under image. You're checking. You're doing your curves. You're creating your own vignettes using multiply and overlays and things like that. So I want to see you take all your magical powers that are deep within you and bring them to Photoshop and make a world that will explode my mind. Okay? And that's it for the day. Thank you very much. You guys have a wonderful project.